So like, let's talk about the directors you've worked with. That's quite a list. I mean,
There's a couple.
it's, so if you had any special interactions where like you were stealing food from their trailer, what?
The very first film I went in for ever was for World Trade Center, which was directed by Oliver Stone. Nicolas Cage was in it, Jay Hernandez. And when I went in for the audition, it's the first lines in the movie, the first 2 or 3 lines in the movie.
What year was that made? It was like, I could look it up. 7?
6?
6? So
I think 06, 2006, 2000. Yeah, because Tintin was 2009.
5 years after 9/11, which means
and it's based on a true story.
Oh, all right. It was somebody who was trapped underneath, right?
Yeah, 2 New York City transit cops who were trapped and got out and survived.
Right.
So I have the first lines of that film. But when I went in for the audition, I did it and did the audition in front of whoever, some assistant. I did it. They taped it. I walked out. It was in the city. So I go back to Penn Station to catch the train. Right as I'm getting on the train, my cell phone rang. They want you back for a call back tonight at 7 o'clock. It's really
you go be in a scene on a train.
Yeah. So I got to go all the way back downtown to Wall Street.
Right. To pretend to be on a train instead of getting on the train to go. Yeah.
There was 1 million people waiting. Like they were so behind. And I'm like, oh man, I'm going to be here all night. And I noticed after a while, people were walking into a room. They were called into a room. And then I didn't see them come back out after that. I didn't know where they were going.
They were killing them.
And apparently there must have been another door to get out. I didn't. So eventually they called me and I walk in. And the reason was because Mr. Stone was in the room himself. And he didn't want anybody out there to know. So
he didn't want you to walk outside and be like, holy shit, I just auditioned in front of Oliver Stone.
Any actor could have walked out and went, Oliver Stone's in there.
Right. And then that freaks everyone out.
Exactly. Yeah. So walked in, met him, and the role I was going in for called for like a really heavy guy. I'm heavy, but I wasn't as heavy as I guess what he thought. He looked at me and he looks down at the script Bible. He does one of these, and I go, "Is there a problem?" I didn't even sit down yet. And he said, "No,
I was once told by a casting director, you're not fat enough to be the fat guy."
He said, by going by the script, I thought you'd be fatter. I said, well, I've seen you on TV. I thought you'd be taller. and he gave me this half smile, but everybody around him was in shock that I said it.
Oh, God. How tall is he? Is he?
No, he is tall. He's like 6'2".
Oh, he is.
He's taller than I am.
Oh, okay.
But when he was sitting down when I said it. And everybody, like there was this little gasp in the room. And he gave me this
back
smirk.
to God. What are you out of your mind?
But he gave me a smirk and he goes, yeah. Sit down. So I sat down.
Oh, all right, good.
And there's only 2 lines or 3 lines that I have. And he said, any questions? And I said, no, I think it's commendable that you put the most pivotal lines in the film right up front. That these are the
Why? What are your lines?
It's just I'm making reference to the Yankee game the night before. I look over Jay Hernandez's shoulder who's reading the paper. And I go, you see that kid Jeter's homer last night? The kid's got some arm. He goes, yeah, I was at that game. I said, oh man, it was a good game to be at. I'm just talking about the Yankee game. That's it.
Yeah, but then doesn't right after that is when the.
Well, yeah, then it's that morning. It was the morning.
You see there again, such a pivotal part. No, but listen, especially for someone like me, like my brother-in-law,
I know,
died on 9/11.
Right.
So. It was a beautiful morning. I remember it was a Tuesday.
Yeah, the way he set the shot up is incredible. The beginning of that film really captured that morning.
That's the demarcation between normalcy and then what came after.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, like I said, such a pivotal scene.
Yeah.
It goes from, some guy talking to another dude about the Yankees.
Exactly.
Derek Jeter has a place down here in Davis Island, or he did in Tampa. So he would come to the Improv a lot, and he came to a show and he saw me. And afterwards I walked over to him and he was like, funny stuff. And I talked to him and then I go, what do you do? And he just laughs at me and I go, fine, don't tell me then. And he's like, And I'm like, I know who you are, Captain. Because he was captain at that point.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
goes,
yeah.
man, he goes, I love to travel in Europe and stuff. Nobody knows. He goes, some people know who I am, but he goes, most people don't. I can just walk down the street.
Sure.
Oh, yeah,
Sure.
because, dude, you see grown men act like 5-year-olds, like,
Sure.
hey, Derek Jeter, sign my
Yeah.
face, sign my face. So but that is such a pivotal part.
Well, wait. I got to tell you what happened.
Okay.
So we do the 3 lines,
Mhm.
whatever. And then now I had done nothing. I had no credits yet. This was the first audition I ever went on. So he says, he's reading my bio that I had, because I didn't have a list of credits. And he says, vaudeville. Your grandfather was in vaudeville? I said, yeah.
Right.
So he was a dancer in the 1920s and 30s, And he said, you do stand-up? I said, yeah, I've been doing stand-up for years. He said, so you can improvise? I said, I've heard of it. And he shut the book.
You're like,
and
yes,
he had me ad-lib a scene, improvise a scene with one of his assistants.
Oh.
And it was hilarious in that he said, just talk about the game. So I said, okay. And his assistant, this guy goes, so you were at the ball game? Like, I could tell this guy knew nothing about sports.
Right.
He said, so you were
at the sports thing?
Exactly. You were at the ball game? And I said, yes, I was. And he said, I'm a Yankee fan also. And I said, it was such a great game, and he go, right. I said, where were you sitting? So I could see the guy's lost. He's lost. I go, where were your seats? And he goes, on the side. He had no idea what to say.
On the side?
He goes, on the side.
On the side.
And I said, really? Just that side? Like, making light of it. And he said, well, where were you? Like, he got mad at me. He goes, well, where were you?
You're like, I was right off the first baseline.
Yeah, I said, I was up in the nosebleeds, man. I said, but you sound like you were right down front. And I said, how much were the seats down there? I'm breaking his chops during an improvisation. And he said, $400.
$400.
What he said. And I said, did the seats come with a blowjob? I actually said that. And Mr. Stone just hit the book and he started laughing. He goes, all right, thank you. He's got this big smile on his face.
You weren't denying. You were just
I know.
So
I walk out, and the next morning, my manager calls me. And I know this can't be good because it's 8:00 in the morning.
And that was Rory?
It was Peter Rosegarden. I go, what? He goes, what did you do? I go, when? What? He goes, at the audition. I go, nothing. I went in and was asked to improvise. Yeah. And he read me the email that was sent to the agent that said notes? Basically, Mr. Stone wanted Mr. Starr to know that he got the role immediately on his audition, and that many times during the rest of the callbacks, Mr. Stone had to stop people because he started laughing, thinking about Mr. Starr.